Welcome to the Fan Method, the plastic surgery, aesthetics, and health podcast, where we talk about everything you need to know to look and feel your best, inside and out. I'm your host, Dr. Larry Fan, and we're so excited to have a great episode for you today. Our topic is something that affects all of us, anti-aging skincare. And I'm so excited to welcome our guest, Master Aesthetician Eva Claiborne. Eva, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I'm Eva Claiborne, a Master Aesthetician and a Perioperative Aesthetic Specialist, and I own and operate Eva Claiborne Beauty and Wellness in Tiburon, California.
Wonderful to meet you. Starting off, I'd love to learn a little bit more about you and your background.
I was grown up in Hungary, Budapest, and earned my master degree in skincare and in 1983.
Wow. And, I understand that you're not just an esthetician, but you're a master esthetician, and that you've had a lot of sort of years of education as well as experience. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yes. The Master Aesthetician program in Hungary, it's a 5 years program. The first 2 years, we study basic skincare and learn to create our skincare line. And after we graduate, we study with the master for 2 years and working with the master. And the 5th year, I was trained with the top dermatologist in the skincare clinic. And I was I learned all of the skincare sicknesses, all of the type of cancers and electrocosmetics. So after the 5 years, when we get ready for the examination, it's a 2 days examination. The first day when we have the written test and the verbal test. At the second day, we meet our client, who we never seen before. We analyze her skin and then create our skincare line for that particular skin type. And then afternoon, we do the technical examination.
Oh, great. And for those, for those people in our audience who, aren't intimately familiar with what an esthetician is and what an esthetician does, can you can you tell us a little bit more about, what is it that you focus on?
Yeah, I focus on anti-aging because we all age and we would like to keep our youth as long as we can. However, we have sensitivity skin and we have also rosacea, which is very, very common these days, and also acne.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So it sounds like you help people take care of their skin so they can look youthful and look beautiful, but you also help people with various skin conditions like acne, rosacea, and I'm sure a whole host of other things.
Absolutely.
Well, great. And, understand that your background coming from Hungary, that Hungary is known for its skincare. And can you tell me a little bit about sort of, what makes your sort of approach to taking care of skin different than maybe, someone from the United States?
Yes, skincare and body therapy goes back for a very long time in Europe because it's come from the Romans. They took care of their body and they did massages. Then the Turkish people developed the hammams, more for focused on body treatments. And in the 17th century, when Dr. Jacot discovered the anti-aging facial massage technique, he taught for the French aestheticians, and Hungary was the second nation who took it over, and they still today teaching the same method, the anti-aging facial massage method.
Oh, wow. So 17th century,
17th century.
long time.
A long time, yes. And in United States, the skincare began only the 1970s. So it's just a little bit newer here, but people really excited about, and they try it out, and many, many people have regular treatments.
Wow. And can you tell us a little bit more about sort of the facial massage method, as well as, other, I guess, practices or approaches that you use sort of commonly?
Yes, actually, I have a patent on changing skin appearance, and it starts with the soothing movements and then an energizing treatment, and I finish up with the lymphatic drainage. And so the skin not only become firmer, but also beautiful, relaxed, and clean. And when we do the massage, the Hungarian facial massage, we speed up the circulation, and the circulation is helped to regenerate the muscle, so the skin will be more tight.
Wow. And so if I heard correctly, so energy, harmony, and then the lymphatic massage.
Yes.
And, for those readers who are curious to know more, or they really want to know what does it sort of feel like, and how long does it take to do the treatments, et cetera, can you sort of, walk me through sort of what it's like if, if you're going to do a facial massage for someone like myself?
Yes. So the minimum time what I am spending on, it's 20 minutes, and for a longer treatment, 30 minutes. So that's the massage part. Normally the facial, 60 or 80 minutes. With the cleansing, I like to use hydrofacial. The last 10 years I am very successful with that. And then after the hydrofacial, we do the massage, the facial massage, and then the mask and the LED therapy. And the LED therapy is changing depends what type of skin we are working, either the red, the blue, or the green.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So it sounds like you're actually both new school and old school.
Yes.
I'm going to guess in the 17th century, LED therapy wasn't part of the practice then. And can you tell me about how, sort of your techniques have evolved over time, and, what you're most excited about what you do now?
Yes, I studied in Europe and in United States constantly. I still taking classes, and studied with different masters and teachers. And also I was an international trainer for a big Spanish company and Dr. Babor company in Germany. And through the years, I got different little techniques from different teachers, and
The
I just
pearls, right?
yes, and I just combine them together.
Yeah. Wow, that's great. And, like you, I'm a lifelong student, and, part of the fun of being in healthcare and in beauty and health is that the learning never stops. And there are always new developments. There are always, you know, ways we can all sort of improve ourselves. And that's part of what makes it so fun, isn't it?
Yes, it is fun and exciting, and I love to learn.
Yeah.
I love to be with other people and exchange um, tips and
Yeah.
tricks.
Well, that's great. And, I'm curious to know, how do you approach sort of skincare for women as opposed to men? Do you approach each gender differently?
Uh, a, a little bit, a little bit. Men hesitant to have skincare. They they only come if the wife tells them to come, or they buy the product for them, or if they have a problem, if they have a rosacea or they have acne. And then once they see the result and they are happy, then they are the most loyal clients. And a little bit, of course, they have different skin type, they have a beard, so we want to be more gentle. We have certain movement what we are use or we don't use. Like the woman is easier to be massaged more, has a speeding technique. Like the gentleman, they have more lymphatic drainage or more soothing, calming
Yeah. Yeah.
treatments.
No, it's really true. I couldn't agree with you more that, majority of people who really prioritize their appearance are women. But today we are seeing more and more men, especially in an area like the San Francisco Bay Area where we're both located. People not only want to sort of live they want to live good lives, and part of that is looking good.
Yes.
And, that brings me to another sort of topic. I know that, you have some, I guess specific beliefs in the relationship of beauty to wellness. Can you talk about that?
Yes. In Hungary, skincare is everyday life. It's not a luxury. So we are going to the skincare. And Hungary it's very specially located. It's sitting on the top of the volcano, and we have over 1,000 mineral hot springs. It's a medicinal water, which is the temperature is over 30 Celsius. So me as a little girl, with my mother, my grandmother, we regularly visited these baths once a week and sitting, enjoying the bathing ritual, and we felt good. And today, when I grown up and until today, doctor prescribe for patients to go to the spa, sitting in the water, depends what condition they have,
Yeah.
and then have treatments after. Have massages or different physiotherapies after the bath.
Yeah. Wow.
And so beauty is for me, it's the inner love, the inner peace. And it's very, very important to, you are beautiful if you feel beautiful, if you are healthy.
Yeah.
And that's why I cannot separate beauty and wellness.
Yeah. Yeah. I, couldn't agree more with that. There are a lot of, I guess, listeners who are maybe, interested in taking care, of their skin. Many of whom know, you know, a little bit about skin, some who know quite a bit, but there's so much information out there. There's so many different messages, and it's easy to get overwhelmed or get confused. If you had the opportunity to sit in front of, every single, woman, person, man or woman who's out there listening and wondering, what do I need to know about my skin? What would you tell them?
Keep it simple. The skincare is very, very important. The home in the professional skincare, also the home care regimen. But the home care regimen should be appropriate for the skin, their skin. Because we have over 3,000 companies, skincare companies, and a lot of time people buying products, and it's not good for them. So they have the number one problem is the incorrect cosmetics. That cause the most damage for the skin. And the most important thing in my mind, keep it simple, have a good cleanser, a serum which has all of the good active ingredients, and the moisturizer or a cream which is sealing it into the skin. So I'm not only working on the top of the skin, I like to work in the skin. That's why I use hydrofacial to keep the skin open. I love microneedling, but I also like to have a simple home care regimen.
Well, that's great. And for those people who are listening and asking themselves, "So, gosh, how do I know whether I'm using the right cosmetics?" Is there, some advice you can give for them, some guidance on how they can, sort of, know that, or do they need to come and see you?
Yes, I like to see the client who really care about their skin, if I am using a right product or not. I like to ask them to bring the product. And we go over and I tell them, this is good, this is not good. Why is this good and why is not good? So I explain, I teach them, so we have a nice consultation. And then we can adjust the product accordingly what the skin type needs.
That's great. Makes a lot of sense. And so it sounds like, people using the wrong products is one of the most common sort of mistakes that you see, or opportunities for people to be able to improve themselves. What are some of the other most common, mistakes that you see people make when they're taking care of their skin?
Not everyone believes in skincare, and they think laser and chemical peel is the best thing. It is good. However, we don't want to overdo it. If someone have a laser treatment or chemical peel, give the skin a rest and rehabilitate the skin between the lasers. And I think it's very, very important to have also soothing, calming, hydrating, conscious skincare product at home. So the the skin will be able to recover.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes a lot of sense. And, I couldn't agree that a lot of people, as a plastic surgeon, I see a lot of people who, are often in a place where they know they need help, either that or they're highly motivated. They just really like to take care of themselves. But I also wish that, everybody, would take the time to put themselves first and to spend that little bit of time taking care of their body, their health, but also their skin. And I know in today's world, we're all so busy, We've got so many things to do, and it can be overwhelming to say, well, what do I really do? And I couldn't agree with you more, though, but keeping it simple is a great way to be able to get a little bit of help.
Yes.
So let's take a minute to talk about anti-aging treatments. So what are the most effective anti-aging treatments, and what are the biggest myths surrounding these types of treatments?
Yes. I can say from my experience, retinol. And I compared where I lived in Europe and when I am here in United States. And so we used retinol for after acne treatment for scarring. Here, we use it as an anti-aging product. And retinol is good, especially in California. I would recommend to my clients from October till March, once or twice a week, and cover it up with the moisturizer. But the summertime, because the sun is so strong here, I would let the skin rest a little bit. But many of my clients who came to me at the first time and their skin is bright red and thinning out, my first question, how long you been using retinol?
Yeah.
And they said, oh, been years. And I said, can we have a little rest? And then from October, you can go back again. And I think that's a little bit they overusing it.
hmm Yeah, I see that a lot as well. And how do people know, sometimes people will get on regimens and they think that, hey, it's, one regimen forever. But in reality, it doesn't really, that really isn't what's best for our skin, right?
Yes.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes. I would change the home care regimen seasonally. Winter, spring, summer, and fall. Because we have different environment, the skin needs different things, and we always want to balance the skin. That's why is healthy balanced skin.
That's great. And I think that's really smart advice. And, when you look back and think about all of the sort of decades of experience that you have, I'm sure you've learned some secrets of skincare or secrets of the human body. What do you think is the sort of the single most interesting or most important thing that you've learned that you wish you could tell everybody?
Don't hang up with the price. I think the price is a marketing. The lower price product can be just as good than the $1,500 serum. So I would just really research what the ingredients. I would go more for natural organic product, which is made in a laboratory and carefully. Then a big department store product, which is I think they are way overpriced.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's no question in the world of skincare, there are literally, as you mentioned, thousands of products, and they come at all different types of price points, as well as all different types of sort of, I guess, marketing angles. And sometimes you have to separate the marketing from the actual sort of ingredients in the products, right? And that's one of the most important reasons seeing an expert like you or like me, it's important because, it's hard to sort of, figure these things out on your own.
Yes.
And what are some of the most, I guess, the newest cutting edge anti-aging treatments that you're most excited about?
I love hydrofacial combination with microneedling and also hydration.
Yeah, that's great. And is there anything that you're most excited about that you think you'll be able to use, coming in the future? Are there any future, sort of treatments that you've heard about, but maybe, aren't popular yet or most people don't know about? Anything that excites you?
I would like to, not yet, but I'm keep searching, going to the conferences
Yeah.
and see what's out there, and I would love to give it to my client.
Well, that's great. That's great. And I know we've touched upon a lot of different things, but for everyone listening out there, and they are asking themselves, "Well, gosh, there's so many estheticians around. How do I find a good esthetician?"
It's hard. It's hard because education is different here in United States. So when we study in Europe, it's a career. We study for a lifetime. That's what we would like to do. Here is, I think, too much opportunities for different work. They just want to get through the school, through the licensing. And so that's why a lot of estheticians can survive. Because if they don't understand the skin, they don't give a good treatment, then they won't be able to stay in business.
And can I ask you if you had like a really close friend who was across the country in like New York City, for example, and maybe you don't personally know any estheticians there, what would you tell that friend to look for? What would you tell them to look for? What would you tell them to maybe stay away from?
To have a good background, have a good, clean office, and using a good product. I think that's very, very important. And the education, how long they've been in the business. And I think that's very important.
Yeah. I'd like to take a minute now to talk about sort of, skincare products. We've talked a little bit about how there are thousands of products available and, some of which, I know we both think are quite good. Others we think maybe aren't quite so good. And it's really, hard for consumers to know what to choose. But I understand that you've developed some of your own products, and I'd love to learn a little bit about what you've developed and why you decided to develop them.
Yes, I developed TITOK NATURALS, and TITOK mean in Hungarian secret. So natural secret for healthy, beautiful skin. And it's all natural ingredients. Even the emulgator is an organic version. Some of them is certified organic product. It's created in a dermatology laboratory, and I work closely with the chemist. And I have a lot of skin allergies through the years, working with different products. But I am a sensitive person, so I have allergy, and I cannot work with everything. So I could have my fingers swell up, or I can cough if I smell artificial smell. And so I decided I would like to have a product line which is pure, which is help to heal the skin, hydrate and moisturize. And working in the plastic surgeon office and see a lot of patient who had laser after laser and laser, and just think about the bottom line, and the patients can get more and more sensitive. I have a fantastic line for sensitive rosacea skin, which is a calming line, a calming serum and a calming cream, which is fantastic. Fantastic in the doctor office. It's completely rehabilitated the skin. It's helped the skin because if the skin is calm and hydrated, the laser it's even better. And before the surgeries, like a facial, the facelift, a facial neck surgery, if the skin is clean and hydrated, the less opportunity for infection, and also it's easier to work with the skin, and the patient heal better.
Sure. And so it sounds like, if I'm hearing correctly, that after having, sort of been challenged yourself by having sensitive skin and having allergies, that you wanted to create a product that could, you know, um, uh, make the skin sort of calmer and more healthy, and in a way that is gentle and can be used by people even with sensitive skin.
Yes,
Am I
yes,
hearing that correctly?
yes, sensitive and more hydrated skin.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. And how did you end up, sort of determining, what to put into the sort of into the products and
I've been studying this for since I'm over 40 years and created different skincare lines. But because this is the most healing, the last skincare line I created,
yeah,
I think this is one of my favorite.
yeah. That sounds wonderful. It sounds like something, gosh, personally, yeah, I'm gonna after the show, I'm gonna make sure I get my hands on some of it, and I want to sort of be able to like use it for myself, but also maybe use it with some patients because I do see a lot of patients that have, skin that clearly is overstimulated and is full of inflammation and not particularly happy. And if there's a product that can help the skin calm down, it could be very, very, very helpful.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm happy to share with you.
Great.
What would you like to see in your with your patient? What type of skincare would you like to see in your office?
Well, gosh, it's a great question. And I think, I'd really like to see first and foremost, just for every sort of person, to just spend a little bit of time taking care of their skin. We are all so busy and we are all overwhelmed, and some of us aren't sure what to do. So it's easy to sort of, neglect the skin. And everyone can do just some very basic things that can set the foundation for health. And, you and I as beauty professionals, know these things like the back of our hand, but some things that everyone can do. First thing is just have a good, simple skincare regimen that you do every day. On top of that, to make sure that you take care of yourself by eating healthy, by avoiding the sun, by hydrating your skin. And those basic things, which so many of us, are neglecting, it itself creates the foundation for a healthy body and therefore a healthy skin. And then on top of that, for, anyone who really wants to age gracefully, as I like to say, but I think making sure that you see a professional regularly is important. It's a little bit like taking care of your teeth. You definitely need to be at home and you need to brush your teeth. You need to floss. But at the same time, you need to go see your dentist so that they can sort of do the extra cleaning and reset things to set the foundation. And then obviously on top of that, if you're struggling with any specific condition, where there's something else going on top of it, you need to see the expert to be able to get help with that. And so, I don't wish for anything too crazy, but I really just wish everyone would spend a little bit of time taking care of themselves.
Yes, thank you so much.
I'd love to take a minute to talk about the different types of skincare regimens that are possible. Obviously, there are a lot of people that are taking care of their skin at home, so they're doing what we call a home care regimen. There are certainly lots of people walking into my office or my colleagues or a dermatologist, and they're getting medical sort of skincare regimens. And then there's sort of something that I consider that sits in between home care and medical, and that's something that's like seeing an esthetician. Can you talk a little bit about sort of what it means, what an esthetician skincare regimen is and how it can combine with either a home care regimen or with a medical care regimen?
Yes, yes. The home care regimen is not enough to do that. You need a professional treatment, and that's when a client or patient choose either medical aesthetic or regular estheticians. And I think the combination of the two is very good. I like laser, I like chemical peel, but just the most important thing, the hydration, the rehabilitation of the skin between the two treatments, or between two lasers, between two chemical peels. That's very, very important.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more that, there's one element of really taking care of the fundamental skin itself, and it doesn't necessarily involve something, very strong or aggressive. And yet at the same time, if we're really needing to repair the skin or to, deal with a condition that is not responding to something more gentle, that's where, the stronger care regimens really, really come to play.
Yes.
Well, and I've got maybe just one last question. So you've been in practice, for about 45 years. What does the average person need to know about skincare?
Skincare is very important for every person in our everyday life. And start early enough. Like in Hungary, we started for when we turned 14, and go until you can, to not only the skin feel good and hydrated and relaxed, but also skincare is not only for the skin, it's also we feel good. And we feel good and we feel good about ourselves. We feel beautiful. And that's also part of our life, to love ourselves and feel beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. This expression just, when we look good, we feel good. And when we feel good, we radiate. And it
Yeah.
really does, come from the inside and it shows outside.
Yes.
Oh, great. Well, thank you so much, Eva, for coming in. It's been sort of a wonderful episode for me. It's been a fascinating discussion.
Thank you so much for having me,
Well, you're very
and
welcome.
it's my pleasure to be here.
You're very welcome. Well, that's a wrap, everyone. So, thanks everybody for listening, and we'll see you at the next episode of the Fan Method. In the meantime, stay well and stay fantastic.